So, kind of a fun little what if in the NFL. Rob Gronkowski was interviewed one time after winning the Super Bowl with the Bucks and Brady. He was asked if there was any other QB he would play with besides Tom Brady, and he answered that question, Joe Burrow. Now, after that Super Bowl winning season, Joe Burrow actually saw that interview clip and he actually texted Rob about potentially joining the Cincinnati Bengals, but he never got back to him because Rob thought it was a random troll or whatever. And I know at that stage of Gronkowski's career, he was definitely more weared down compared to how he was in the middle of the 2010s. But I still think Rob would have been really useful for Joe Burrow. Just like hypothetically, think about this for a second. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Rob Gronkowski, T. Higgins. I mean, that's like an all-star offense right there. Just a quick little what if in the NFL. Just a little fun story. But who knows, man? It did not happen. And I thought it was just a fun what if game to play. But let's talk about the present for the Bengals and what they should do going forward. Now, Joe Burrow is having a borderline incredible season, and he's the only QB to throw for 30 touchdowns and only have 5 picks and have losing record in the past 25 years in the NFL through the first 15 games of an NFL season. So the Bengals are having a historically terrible year. I don't really need to tell you that. It's pretty obvious. You can use your own eyes. So I think first things first, I would definitely can Zach Taylor immediately. I would just turn over the whole coaching staff, to be honest. Just not good enough, man. Just not good enough. And I've brought this up before, but Joe Burrow is kind of a borderline injury-prone player. I feel like he's hurt every other year. So for them to waste an incredible Joe Burrow year is just sickening. It really is. And who knows if he's going to be healthy a year from now. I don't know. Based on the pattern of his career so far, I'm assuming he will probably sustain an injury. Hopefully it's not a severe one for the 2025 year, but we'll have to see, man. But there is a silver lining for the Bengals fans. They most likely will have a top 10 draft pick. Now, I don't really know what they should use it on. Should they use it on the O-line? Should they add another piece to their offense? Because T. Higgins is more than likely gone after this year. And that's another element of this too, of how it's such a wasted season. T. Higgins is also probably going to be gone, and him, Jamar, Joe have been a pretty good trio over the years. So to waste him as well is just whatever, man. But I really don't know what they should use this top 10 pick on. Like I said, should they get more protection for Joe? Should they add another weapon in the draft? Should they add a piece on defense, a corner? Obviously, if the Bengals had a higher draft pick, like a top 5, top 3 draft pick, the easy answer is probably Travis Hunter. Who knows, maybe he would play both ways for at least a little bit of time if he did get drafted to the Bengals. I'm not saying he'd play both ways a lot, but they definitely could use some corner help, and they could definitely use another receiver with the absence of T. Higgins for some reps as well, but they're probably not going to land Travis Hunter. I expect him to go top 5, top 3. And to be honest, I haven't been looking at mock drafts recently, but just off the top of my head, I would definitely add a piece to that defense. You know, if there's another solid, steady corner there, I would get him. Even a linebacker, just anything on defense. They just need pieces and they need help immediately. I don't care. Just get some dude in there. Get like an all-pro safety. I don't know, man. Or get more protection for Joe Burrow. I really feel like a lot of wide receivers come out of the draft every year despite which round they're taken in. So hopefully they don't waste that top 10 pick on a wide receiver, but we'll have to see. Let me know who you think the Bengals should draft with their top 10 draft pick for the upcoming draft. A defender, someone on offense. Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious what you think. And, the sad thing about the Bengals is they don't have a good owner. He's notoriously a cheap guy. And I don't know really what direction they would head in if they do get rid of Zach Taylor. I don't expect them to hire a guy like Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel or any big name, just because I feel like the big names are going to get big offers somewhere else money-wise. A guy that could definitely work and I feel like could potentially have mutual interest in joining the Bengals. That guy is Ben Johnson, currently the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. I really think this would be a match made in heaven. Everything I've seen from his time in Detroit checks out completely, passes every test. So I really would trust him to really bring the best out of the offense in Cincinnati year in and year out. And, Zach Taylor hasn't been a terrible coach. It's just year after year when you have a pretty good roster and you have such slow starts to the year, it just becomes basic math to a certain point where you're really playing behind the 8 ball and you're just not making it easy for yourself at all when you have very winnable games every September. Like, the fact that they lost to the Patriots week 1 at home is despicable. Absolutely despicable, man. And it's every year in and year out. They always have these slow, brutal starts. So I think without question, you have to go in a different direction with the entire coaching staff of the Bengals for the 2025 year. I would have a lot more hope for this team and for this franchise if the owner was a bit of a different guy, had a different philosophy with how he spends his money, but who knows, man? Maybe things will change. Maybe things will turn a corner. I'm not sure. You let me know in the comments below. Would you fire Zach Taylor, and who would you hire, and who do you think they would hire? Because I think that's a very important question to ask. What is actually realistic? But you guys let me know in the comments below. And if you made this far, please subscribe and help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
Up some good solid yards. Now second and short, much easier to call those kind of plays.
Second and short. He's scrambling now. Ball is out, and the defense has it. He's brought down. The Chargers are set to take the field again on offense after a crazy sequence that didn't go their way. That turnover led to turnover points. And now let's see if they're going to get him here.